We're going to hear testimony that tens of billions of dollars intended to serve the public have been lost to fraud in the state of Minnesota alone. Organized criminal syndicates stole COVID-era disaster money to the tune of billions of dollars, and since then they have defrauded money from every single federally funded program in the state of Minnesota. Let me say that again. Every single federally funded program in the state of Minnesota. Programs intended for children, for the elderly, for the poor, for the sick, for the most vulnerable Americans. We're going to hear testimony that $9 billion has been defrauded in Minnesota from Medicaid alone. $9 billion. Vanishing into luxury cars, overseas vacations, billions going to fund foreign adversaries, billions shipped out of the country. In the last 2 years alone, get this now, nearly $700 million in cold hard cash was stuffed into suitcases and flown out of Minneapolis. $700 million. That is 14,000 pounds of $100 bills in suitcases flown out of our country overseas. We're going to hear testimony that American taxpayers nationwide are losing north of $1 trillion a year in government programs. That's the Pentagon's entire budget. $1 trillion a year. This isn't isolated crooks gaming the system. I wish it were. It's transnational criminal syndicates siphoning money out of America. 70% of that loot flows overseas, funding cartels, terrorists, adversaries like North Korea, China, Iran, Russia. Money meant for American grandparents, working families, the elderly, the sick, is instead funding organized crime, arming our enemies, and subsidizing the trafficking of children. And the threats don't end there. In recent weeks, we have seen anti-ICE protests escalate into outright lawlessness. What we're going to hear testimony about today is these were not spontaneous protests in many cases. It's manufactured chaos. And who is behind it? Dark money networks and foreign actors, some of whom have ties to the Chinese Communist Party. We're going to hear testimony that these activities are funded and coordinated by a dense network of nonprofits and foreign-linked actors who use layer upon layer of pass-through entities to hide the money trail. A classic dark money laundering, to take foreign money and foreign influence and to dump it into our political system. It's sort of like Riot Incorporated. Pre-planned tactics designed not to protest, but to destabilize, to erode faith in our institutions, and to force political change through manufactured crises. Listen, at the end of the day, this hearing is about a simple question. Is our government equipped to safeguard taxpayer dollars, protect the rule of law, and defend our institutions from exploitation? Because right now, it sure doesn't look like it. And it's time we got some answers for the American people.